Hey, this is Scott Homan, Witness Underground Podcast. Today I'm going to dive into Decult, the Cult Awareness Conference. They are in the middle of a campaign right now. And so we're going to be going through the best videos they've created on the topic, a short film that they created, the same film crew created. And I think it's the best piece out there to show off because they're going to make a documentary out of this conference. And I want to show you what they're capable of. Some of the campaign details, what they're offering, what you get out of it, the promises that they're making, and why the conference is important, and also why the documentary is important. Who is going to be at the conference that's going to end up in the documentary, which faith backgrounds are represented there, and what is the ultimate goal of the conference and the documentary that is in a boosted campaign right now. So we're going to dive into the Cult Awareness Conference and the documentary that they are working on, that they're crowdfunding right now on a app. It's just like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Seed&Spark for film, but it's a New Zealand based one because this conference and the film will take place in New Zealand and they have their own system. And it looks like it works very well. They've crowdfunded a bunch of other films and they've successfully created them. So some of the world experts are going to be at the Cult Awareness Conference. So I'm going to share my screen and show you some of the content and we'll dive right into the video. Many countries and voices are represented. So let me first share the website. Okay, presenting. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, first we have this is the campaign. So get right into it. Here's their video, but I will actually be showing you first. This is Anke Richter's book. So she's the director of the conference. She wrote a book called Cult Trip, where she travels as a journalist to 4 different cult groups and explores them. So the film is actually about her visiting one of those. It's a short 2-minute short film that kind of highlights what happened there. And her project, there's a lot of videos. So if you want to go there, you can go to ankerichter.net, and then videos has this particular video. We're going to watch Tantra Island in a second. And I just wanted to show you quick Decult's website before I do that. So here is the Cult Conference. Keynote speaker, Dr. Janja Lalich from the United States. She wrote a number of great books. She's the thought leader in this space, and I'm going to soon have her on this channel to do the Decult Takeover interview series that I've started. I'm trying to highlight, I'm highlighting many of the guest speakers, and so some of those guest speakers are, let me widen out here, the speakers. Just give you a taste of who is going to be there. In addition to Janja Lalich, we have journalist David Farrier, Dr. Gilly Jenkinson from the United States, or from UK, sorry, cult recovery expert. Craig Hoyle is a journalist and author of a book. He left the Exclusive Brethren. Dr. Carolyn Ansley, she's a doctor from Christchurch who's working specifically with the Centrepoint group in New Zealand. New Zealand's super interesting because her interview is excellent. Oh, it's already out if you want to watch it on my channel. Her interview, she talks about how isolated New Zealand is as a nation. So you can't, when people leave a cult or a cult group, most people that don't know anything about the thing thinks, okay, great, story's over, they made it. Like they're no longer in an oppressive situation. But that's not true. There's years or decades that people need to kind of enter, learn, assimilate into the greater culture. And in New Zealand, they're dealing with a huge amount of people coming out of these groups into the population, and there's no support system. So she has gone and created a support system, and she's a medical doctor, so that has been one of her professions. Fascinating person. Dr. Sarah Romani, Adam Dudding, a journalist, myself as a filmmaker. We're going to be premiering Witness Underground there as our Australasian film premiere, which is really exciting, and that's one of the reasons I got really involved, to help her out. And well, you're inviting me, great, what can I do for you? So let's get this word out. And they sort of crowdfund. Okay, it's on, let's go. Sarah Steele, fascinating podcast. She's won a bunch of awards with her podcast. It is Let's Talk About Sects, which is a funny name. And she has no affiliation. She's just deeply curious about different sex, cult, and coercive groups. Fascinating podcast. Ulrika Schiza, we just released a video where I interviewed her. Fascinating person. She's a professional cult expert out of Austria. They have a government program that teaches and educates and provides resources to people who have gone through things. She's featured on, oh wow, Just realized my microphone's bad. Okay. Pause. Updating my mic. Oh my goodness. Please tell me that that is better in the comments. Can't believe I did that. Okay. Ulrike Schiese. She's a psychotherapist, but also she works as a cult expert, and she works in esoteric belief systems. And she's been on many news agencies during the pandemic as an expert to discuss the dissemination and sense making of in a world that's more complicated with lots of different news and information sources. So how do you navigate that? Fascinating person. I actually don't know everyone on here. So Kant Vier, Tore Klevcher, counselor, academic. Luke Hollis is a survivor. Maria Esguerra, a psychologist. There's more, and there's always more coming on. So wow, they've actually updated. So they have partnered with Little Bit Culty, Christchurch, Inkster Company, Gießen, the Olive Leaf Network, the Gloriavale Leaver Support Trust. Lots of really interesting people, and that is already fascinating. So one of the things I've been learning about doing the Witness Underground podcast and the film Witness Underground, our documentary, is that the story of the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, which is the group that my film is about and that most of the people I've had on my show have come from, it's not just one group. It's not a special group. There are so many groups in the world that use almost identical systems of control, manipulation, coercive control. And this is one thing really special about ICSA in Europe, which is right now happening in Barcelona really soon, but also now Decult in Australasia, New Zealand, is that it's bringing voices from many different backgrounds together, many different expertise and education, different modalities of support, different support organizations to come together to share knowledge and then disseminate that. And so one of the really special things about the documentary project, okay, I said I was going to jump right in, so glad I fixed the audio. Hopefully that wasn't too terrible. Let me share this video and we'll enjoy this.
Anke Richter is an international journalist originally from Germany who lives in New Zealand, where she works as a foreign correspondent. She's written 4 nonfiction books. Cult Trip, her latest one, was published by HarperCollins. So please give a warm Copenhagen welcome to Anke Richter.
I made it, I'm here. I'm on the island. No one's burned my hut down yet or put anything nasty into my bed.
So as you know, I wrote the book Full Moon over Copenhagen. I believe the subtitle is What Adventurers, Dancers and Freaks Seek and Find on Thailand's Magic Island.
Stupidity on the island is running high, you said?
Where do we start?
I feel like I need to pause just for a second in case anyone, just for a trigger warning. She does talk about some pretty heavy stuff, sexual stuff, for a second.
A lot of people are living without realizing that they have been through trauma or that they have been in a cult.
We went and found a checklist and we were in the process of deciding to leave and looking at the checklist going check, 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 and then going,
Okay. Wow. It's really weird coming back here. I might even check out their notice board. Tantric foreplay with the man himself. Here he is, all over the show. Wow.
Has he admitted wrongdoing?
He told me he's celibate now, so isn't this redemption? I said, I mean...
That's like Harvey Weinstein saying, you know, I've stopped raping my employees, you know,
Yeah.
I mean...
How many rapes are you willing to tolerate for your self-development? I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? Nature. Nature is the best healer. It sounds so corny, but it's true.
She's never going to know how much good she's done. We do know that there is a large body of women who've come forward, who wanted to hear their stories told, and who could have effectively been silenced. But Anke's book means that they're not going to be silenced. Anke's book's going to mean that their voices, their stories are going to be heard.
So here is their Instagram, just to give you an idea of what's going on. Powerful little video, right? So that same crew is doing this. I'll just show you the Decult boosted campaign. They're trying to raise 7K, and they've got 66 donors, and they're already at $6,500. So that's nearly $100 a person. And they've actually done something pretty cool. So their plan is to take the conference. I went through all the people, and you can see who's donated here, some anonymous. And this is the last week, so it's important to do it now if you're interested in getting involved. And at the beginning, it was like, well, do it on your own goodwill. And then I showed up, and I was like, hey, we could actually offer some things. So one of the things I offered that I was able to do is, I don't know if I can share this media. Yeah, I can probably share a screen. So I'll read it out as I'm going here. Oh, I can't do everything at the same time. Let's see. Window, here we go. Okay, so here's the information. So at $50, you get early access to the live stream. You get early access to, early access and a live stream ticket. So they're going to live stream the event. So there's 2 ways to participate in the event. So you can actually fly to Christchurch and get a hotel and stay there and enjoy everything. It's going to be like a film festival, but a conference for cult thought, esoteric beliefs, how to think critically, credible education, incredible stories. And then they're going to live stream it for everyone else who can't get there, which is kind of cool because then it's like, well, the entire planet can participate in this. So they're actually selling live stream tickets to help support the project. And this isn't just like a one-time thing. You saw Anke's book and the film crew, like this is the beginning of something. So I feel like supporting it supports the future of the Decult concept, which is really cool. But anyway, you'll get a live stream ticket so you can participate. So that's that level. And I feel like that's a super fair deal for what you're getting. And that's at the half the price of what most people have been supporting at on average. And then at $100, it's full digital. So the best of our director's cut. So they're going to cut a documentary, but it's going to be like probably an extended length thing. You'll get the live stream of the conference. So everything that you have in the lower levels, it just keeps on going like that. So maybe just go check this out on their website. This is on their site and on their Instagram. But there's different levels, and you get totally different things. Up to $1,000, you get to meet everybody, and you're considered an executive producer, and you're having VIP lunches and all this stuff. That sounds really exceptional and special. $250 digital everything, every extended thing. Cult trip inside the world of coercion and control, signed book, everything digital that comes with the conference and the film and the after conference, the live stream, etc. So go ahead and take a look at that. I'll leave it up there for a second. And let's see what else I want to show you. I want to show you their site, which I did already. Okay, back to the Instagram. Okay, so their Instagram's interesting because they have a lot of little videos that they're sharing. Let's see. Oof. StreamYard, get it together. It's not me, I blame StreamYard. Okay. So yeah, 7 days to go. They're really close to their goal, but there's something beyond that. So the thing about adding perks is that now it's not about hitting that goal and we're doing it out of love for what they're trying to accomplish. You're actually going to get all those things. And that wasn't true before. Everyone who has donated gets all those things. But so it's like retroactive. So everyone who comes on now, they want to hit $12,000 because they have another goal they want to do. So you can read more about that on their website, which I showed you. And there's value, a lot of value in this. So support them if you can. You see here a lot of different people that are coming, and they're doing an incredible job with marketing and branding. And the people that she's collected from all over the world are fascinating. Here we have a comedian out of the UK. She's actually an ex-Jehovah's Witness, the Guilty Feminist, and the acclaimed podcast. Like they're on tour really recently. This is Deborah Francis White. Check her stuff out. So representatives. So we have here with Greco, we have the Exclusive Brethren, which is a really fascinating group. Have a lot of parallels to the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. If you are part of that tribe, a lot of the people that follow Witness Underground are. Gloria Vale is a really interesting group to check out from New Zealand. I love that, like the bubble of New Zealand it's such a fascinating place to be watching, because it's sort of like, well, if this happened on a space station, we would have to deal with it. People don't just disappear into go traveling or like leave or get mixed up in some other part of society. You never hear from them again. They're right there in front of you, and that's kind of true of New Zealand because they're a bit of a smaller nation, and there's beaches as a border everywhere, and there's not so many cities. So there's a lot of interesting people coming out of local groups, but also international groups like the Exclusive Brethren. And they also have Gloryvale, Centerpoint are two of the more famous ones there. And then we have experts from all over the world who are going to be speaking. So very, very impressive organization. Here's some press that they just got. Here's the director. Robin Jordan is her name. And there's another guy she works with, Caleb McDonald. So they're the team who did the film that we just watched. And we'll watch their campaign video here. This is the photo of it. So let's go back there. This is the campaign sharing now. And let's just watch this.
Jordan. Hi everyone, my name is Robin Jordan. I'm a filmmaker, and here with me is Anke Richter, the director of the Decult Conference in October and amazing author of the book Cult Trip. We are here asking for money towards making a short documentary that captures the Decult Conference in its entirety.
It's the first cult conference here in New Zealand where we're bringing international experts from the UK, from the US, from parts of New Zealand together with authors, with activists, with cult survivors, and to capture that and have that as a resource for the future that others can watch and be inspired by it and learn from it. It can actually create change.
Your money is going to go towards the whole production of this short documentary. What that means is it'll cover pre-production and it'll cover the actual shooting of this documentary. That means interviews with speakers, with cult survivors, incredible journalists that are coming from all around the world. So the money will go towards researching and how we can best engage and utilize these people all in one spot. It'll then also cover post-production, which is editing, and then also the distribution of this short documentary.
It's a small hui with a big impact that will actually lead to a ripple effect by people watching this documentary, by creating a media resource that will last way longer than what we're doing on the day. I'm so excited.
And we do also have a stretch goal.
And if we reach that, then that money will go towards the Decult charity, the Decult Trust, and we can put on more events like this in the future and actually make an impact here in New Zealand to stop cults and to help people who've come out of them. Every bit helps. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's their campaign video. I think they did a good job of capturing what they're going to do, what they're going to do with the money, and why it's important, and who's going to be there. So if you have the ability and the interest, go check it out. They only have a few days left, and they're so close to their minimum goal. The 7,000 is a minimum goal to make it, and that is not, someone's not profiting off of that. That is just them covering the cost of making it. And obviously you saw how professional they were with that trailer that we started with. And I think they're an incredible team. I'm excited to meet them as well. And yeah, go give them some support. Let's see if I can get us back there. Just to see if there's one last thing that I lost, of course. I'm so good at this. Here we go. Okay. Oh my goodness. While I was live streaming, they hit their goal. Well, now it's stretch goal time. So awesome that if you're watching this and did that, you're an incredible person. That went to 5 donors and they hit their goal. Well, they did talk about a stretch goal to 12,000 and read on their website for what else that they can do. Very impressive. I don't know if we had anything to do with that. I hope so. I see there's 3 people watching, so I don't think so, because that was 66 when I started this, and now it's 71 donors. Incredible, whoever you are out there. You're awesome. Maybe we can research. Everyone's anonymous. Okay. What else can I say? Well, I guess it was worth me jumping on to do this. You derailed me. Well, one thing I wanted to share was Anke Richter's book. She wrote Decult Trip, and what was interesting, why I'm involved, is because she reached out to me during our Kickstarter campaign in October, November, to say she was impressed by what we were doing, and she wanted to invite me to screen our film at their conference to add some variety and another perspective to their conference. And it's ultimately like a crazy option, like an offer, but also it's a dramatic thing to do with your life. I've done it a lot. When I got out of the religion, I was like, hit the road, see what's going on in the world. And strangely, I met a lot of other ex-cult members while traveling, and I lived with some in commune, and we didn't even, I've dated people that were, they didn't talk about it until like years after we were dating. Like bizarre stuff happened. But so for me, going to Asia is like, awesome, I'm gonna go see my friends. This is really cool, but I've never been to New Zealand. So it's like just a short trip to go back to Vietnam where I used to live. Anyway, I said yes. I just said yes immediately. But then I wanted to read her book because like, is this an alignment with the Witness Underground film and this project I've been doing now since 2016, and deeply aligned, and that feels good. So go read her book. I thought it was fascinating because she talked a little bit in that video about her experience with one of those self-development groups, and then she did journalism on the topic, but she went to groups that she was not a part of in her book. And I loved, there's like four groups in 4 kind of waves. One of them is Osho, who's the famous one. She kind of pitches it as like, here's what they're selling. Here's how this is what they would say to you when you approach. And each time I was like, wow, that sounds like a really interesting group of people. I would like that thing that they're offering. They're really good at marketing it. They're really good at selling it, and they're offering community. And this is what churches and coercive groups do. And other groups also do that on coercive. So there are good groups out there. But a lot of them are, like these isolated groups are selling you something, probably sounds too good to be true, or something you really want, or you see other people have and you want it. And then someone rose to the top, and this is what humans do. A narcissist or controlling person, who knows? There's lots of labels we put on someone who uses manipulation and coercion to get to the top of a hierarchy and get you to cross your boundaries, re-traumatize you, do all these things that aren't actually helpful to get you to do things that aren't healthy. So she takes you into the world in a really interesting way that's like, oh yeah, let's go in. That sounds great. And then you're like, oh, that's insane what's happening. And she kind of gives you what actually happened in the news and what the person went on trial for, and then the victim stories. And it's insane. It just gets even more and more insane. So like, I really enjoyed the reading. I got the audiobook, and actually it's available in print. I don't know where. It's in some places, New Zealand, of course, I think Australia, but then a lot of other places only available as an audiobook. So I listened to it on Audible on Amazon, and maybe a few other places. So you can get it as an audiobook. I highly recommend it. And she did that, and she's like, well, now what? Okay, I did my book. She made a little film about the process with this same crew. And now she's doing a conference, and she's reached out to all these people all over the world, and they're like, hell yeah, let's go. So very impressive, super interesting people. And it's exposed me to a lot of new voices. I've read a lot of books because of the speakers who are going up, then went and bought their books, listened to them. And she's been on a lot of great podcasts that I've also been on now, such as A Little Bit Culty, to shout them out, Sarah Edmondson from Nixium, and Talk Beliefs with Mark Torrender in England. And there's a whole bunch. Actually, you can see some of her press on her website, ankerichter.net. But also, if you're going to check more out about this, you can go over to Decult and check out who she's partnered with, look at the different videos. And I guess maybe to wrap it up, looks like she made one more video. Let's watch this.
Help today. Hi, I'm Anke, and I'm asking for your help today. I've kicked off Decult, the first cult conference in New Zealand, because we have a big cult problem here in our small country. Tens of thousands of people are affected by it, and their mental health and human rights are in danger. So together with a team of dedicated volunteers, we're bringing international experts and therapists over to help those who have been traumatized in abusive and controlling groups. Many professionals are now on board to join this cause. This is a really big deal, and we want to document every step of it with a film crew. Stories can change lives, and the story of this groundbreaking event is a unique one too that needs to be told, with cult survivors in the mix. We need your help to make the Decult documentary happen. So please contribute to our boosted campaign and know you're amplifying powerful voices. So get on board, Deccultivists. Help us make this happen. 1 week to go.
October 19th to the 20th. So she's really planning ahead. She's been working on this for almost a full year in advance to arrange everything. It's a full-time job. She's managing a team of volunteers. She's doing an incredible job. So I'm excited to see this. And what's actually really interesting is I was talking to a few of the people who are going to be speaking there, and they're all talking about how they're going to be going to Barcelona, because there's a cult conference there run by ICSA that's coming up this next week or so. And so now it's super interesting because all these cult experts and people, advocates in the space, people with podcasts, journalists are all going to travel around the world to meet each other and share knowledge, and then share that again at Decult. So there's this interesting community happening, and they're all saying that all these different groups are using the same tactics. And so they're trying to help people understand that it's not just your little group or your special group that you, like in this case, a lot of people that are watching this channel are actually Jehovah's Witnesses, me too. And it's an identity that you can take on, and maybe it's like given to you, right? Like I can't really deny it. Now I'm no longer, so I have that label. And it's a lot of things we have in common with other people who went through that exact experience or some related experience in that culture. But the Exclusive Brethren have similar things, and the Mormons have a similar thing, and ex-Ultra-Orthodox Judaism, people that believe that, have a similar thing. And the more we come together to share those ideas, then we can see the patterns everywhere. And it's not that every group has these patterns, but we can start to see those red flags and then help warn others and help keep ourselves, but also our communities safe, because this stuff happens everywhere in the world. Humans just do this, and there are bad actors who rise to the top because people put them there. And it's a really important conference. So go ahead and support the project, get those perks, because I feel like, well, they hit their goal, as you see, and that's great, but don't let that stop you. You can watch the conference for $50, and that's something that really helps. They talk about the goal in the video of their stretch goal, and there's more information on their website what they're going to do with that, but it's more now, I think, about what you get out of the deal. So give it a check. Decult, decult.net for the website. I'll put the links in the bio. They probably already are. I think the boosted campaign links in there. I'll put the decult.net link in the bio. So you can just click on it. Checking no questions in the chat. All right, I think that is good to go. Check out Decult Cult Awareness Conference 2024, New Zealand, Christchurch, run by Anke Richter, the author of Cult Trip. Thanks, y'all. Talk to you soon.